The reason that I left the city and to build a home in the mountains, let's call it, right?
Yeah.
In the countryside, was to fulfill a lifelong dream, and that was independence. But having said all that, you know, in this big, beautiful world that we live in, there are powers that be, propaganda machines, of course. We all know what they are.
Yeah.
And they can direct where people go and what they do. So, you know, over the years, we're all influenced from that. And eventually, you know, we decided, my wife and I, that, yeah, it was time to move to the countryside and build our own place so we could be totally independent.
Any testing of your savvy? Was it kind of a test for you?
It was a test for me to see what I can and I cannot achieve as a human being. It was quite challenging. You know, we built a home off-grid, a solar home. We built a garden as well. We did a lot of things, but there's a lot more to go, and it takes a great deal of money to achieve these in the north. No, we live in the north, so in the north you're always working towards winter. So if you're burning firewood, you need to collect that firewood.
So a year and a half off the grid, and you grew a garden. Was the garden sufficient for providing food? No, you'd have to head into town from time to time and replenish.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely. One of our main staples was rice. I love rice.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, to say in the case of a disaster, I always stock up on rice.
Yeah.
And if people don't, potatoes only last for, you know, how many months?
Well, usually by the time you get towards the end of winter, it's seed. That's all it is. You can't eat them. But yeah, rice is fairly easy to store as long as you keep it dry. So.
But having said all that, again, you know, we started the project. We got to a certain point, couldn't finish it because of the monetary issue.
A bit of a heartbreaker then.
A bit of a heartbreaker, you know.
To spend
well, you spend a little fortune to create something for future generations, you believe, and fulfill your lifelong dream to find total independence, and you can't finish it. You know?
They got the yoke on you.
It's life. You know, for us to get back, it was all about, realistically, finding out where does our food come from? Who are the people that are minding the you know, the beef, the cattle? What kind of people make this up? Because we've all been scared by BSE and a host of other diseases in our food chain.
GMO.
The CFIA, we all know what that is, no longer does what it used to do, and it's in the hands of the corporation. So we all realize that. So, you know, again, having said all that, you know, it was another big reason why we left the city, was to get in touch with the roots. You know, what did our ancestors do to get to, you know, to where we are today?
Were you hunting when you were
no,
for that year and a half?
Well, we did do some hunting on the property. Yes, actually, we did. Yeah, but it was part small game partridge.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, we had a long way to go to be totally independent. You know, and we still do. And to achieve it, it's larger than one person. You need groups of people to do this.
When I was in college, there was one statement kind of towards the end that our instructors were trying to drill into our heads, and that was rebuilding the tribes. And I think that you're right. I think that many hands make light work, but to build a tribe isn't as easy as it sounds. Because, and so when you spent a year and a half in the wilderness, how many people did you have? Was it just you and your wife?
Just me and my wife. We had some good neighbors. Every neighbor, though, that assisted us, we made sure that they were compensated financially for helping us out. But again, without having those neighbors there to do some of the chores, if I hadn't had the greenbacks to pay them,
well,
it had been very challenging to move the project forward.
So, in a way, the money is almost a stumbling block.
Money is a stumbling block to get to where you want to be, I believe, to reach independence, depending on your lifestyle. Let's put it that way. Because if you want to be totally independent in a modern society, that's the challenges that you face. You know, because you want the modern technology at your fingertips. That costs money.
Yeah.
It's not free.
And so when you were in the bush for a year and a half, how did that pan out for you? Did you manage to stay reasonably healthy then, or?
Oh, both my wife and I got sick at I think it was a 5-month period. It was dead of winter around Christmas time. Both of us were at the ER. We caught a bug of some sort, you know.
Were you drinking the local water, or?
We were drinking, yeah, local water actually.
Sometimes water supplies can be the contributing factor to that sort of thing, especially if you both get it. Water's kind of like, it's a staple, and we ingest a lot of it, whether it's through our coffee and tea or if we're just drinking it straight up.
You need it.
Yeah, you do need it, but it's got a lot of bugs in it too.
Of course.
So, I mean, did you guys filter your water?
No, we didn't filter our water.
That's also another cost, right? And once again, we're back to that same sort of scenario where, I mean, you got to fork out a couple $100 for a water filtration system. Mm-hmm. You might not do it. Boil your water, whatever. I don't know. Did you guys boil your water?
No.
You.
Well, our supply of water, you know, we went to town every other month to get tap water, or we'd use a neighbor's hose. That's the type of water we're using, and their stuff were on wells and so on and so forth. It's hard water, like it is here in Fort St. John.
Peace Region Community Television has a website.
Yeah, PRCTV.ca, and it's all things positive. It's about the community, the region, actually. The region meaning, we're talking Charlie Lake, Tumbler Ridge, Chetwynd, Fort St. John, Dawson Creek, Puscoopi, even as far as Grand Prairie. So the whole intent here is it's a community initiative. We get bombarded every day by negativity and propaganda that, you know what, my next door neighbor, you know, she may make the best cookies in the world. Why not celebrate her life and share her story? She raised 11 kids. I mean, to me, that's community, and a positive aspect of it. Therefore, we have PRCTV. Now, this isn't the first initiative that I've done. You know, down south in the Caribou, I launched WLCTV. It's still online.
In Williams Lake, yeah.
In Williams Lake. So, yeah, it's all about building a network across this country. In the old days, we built churches together, you know, with our own blood and sweat, tears. Why can't we build our own network together? And it's not about us, it's about the future generation. But at the end of the day, yeah, that was my experience with prepping, and it wasn't really prepping, it was more about achieving independence. It's what we all want at the end of the day, both financial and to be able to look after a family.
Yeah.
You know, and it's quite hard to achieve without a larger group of people.
That's right. And rebuilding the community. Yeah, and drawing in those ties, building something that's strong. Well, thank you very much, Rick.
Thank you, sir. It was fun.
Yes, we'll have to do this again sometime soon. This is Peace Repper Prepper. Another awesome interview. Thank you very much for watching. And I will run your, again, your website at the end.